And a good Friday to you. Welcome to Summer Solstice Day. It's coming tonight, not the traditional June 21st, but it is hot like summer. Alongside Rodney Nelson, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks for joining us for the races tonight at Lone Star Park. We are fast and firm. Summer settling in. I think some good action this week. I've looked at all 3 days of racing and some good competitive action coming up. Tonight, I think there's a favorite or two that's a little vulnerable, so hopefully people can make some money.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun night, a fun weekend. I haven't looked at the rest of the weekend's cards yet, but tonight, man, there's some pretty solid horses that are in here and some pretty good races. So should be some nice ways to make some money.
Yeah. Last week was a little tough. I mean, there were some it was good chance to make some money if you tried to beat favorites, because we did not have our typical 38-39% clip of favorites last week. On to the first. Everybody in this race happens to be in for a tag. This is an optional claimer. You could be in for $50,000, or you could be in as a non-winner of two. Everybody in this case is in for the claiming price. The opening race, 5.5 furlongs, Texas breds. These are just 3-year-olds, straight 3-year-olds in here. Scratch the one, hashtag make it happen. That leaves a field of 5, so there will not be superfecta wagering here on the first.
Well, I think this first race is a pretty easy horse, stands out to me. On the outside, Golden Grit, that's number 6. This horse has been, the last 2 races, has been running in basically this type of race, right? Allowance optional claiming for the $50,000. Last time was in for the tag. Time before that went under the allowance conditions. Picked up a win 2 starts back. A second last time out, missing just by a neck over another horse that's in here. He is Heaven Sent. That's the 5, but was able to best that horse by 4 1/4. And if you look back through Golden Grit, you take out that one race where the horse finished 8th, and this horse has had a pretty solid year this year. Ran in a couple stakes races, winning the Jim's Orbit down at Sam Houston Race Park. I think Golden Grit is the one they're all going to be chasing here in the opener. Number 3, Tom Sawyer, is going to be my second pick. It's another horse that has been running up there toward the front in most of the races. Last time out, this horse was a second-place finisher, but that was in a lot smaller claiming tag price race, right? I mean, $20,000 for that one. But we'll see what happens with Tom Sawyer. I think this horse could be very solid. Picked up a win 3 back. Went in that Texas Thoroughbred Association Derby 2 starts back and was well beaten in that one. Beaten by 36, so you got to think they just packed it in after about half. And so we'll save Tom Sawyer for another day, but I think the horse can run well tonight. And then I got Rocket's Red Flare as my third choice. This horse was a winner last time out. A couple seconds, back-to-back seconds before that. Rocket's Red Flare, 6-1 on the line. He's up there at 6-1 right now. It is early, but I think it'd be a pretty good price to get on this horse.
Yeah, we're the same here on the top 3. A couple quick comments. Golden Grit, I think he's liable to be really overbet. He's going to be a short price. He is by far the most logical. I think the shorter distance helps. He had to go 6.5. That's starting to be a little demanding of a distance. And he was in a real match race for much of that last race with Raise the Bar. It was a Steve Asmussen who had taken blinkers off and got really competitive and just got the better of him in the last 16th. But Golden Grit ran quite well. You might notice he's run 2 really nice races on off tracks. Sloppy track race a couple of races ago, and then something in the past that's not showing up on our PPs. But he can I don't think it's going to be an issue with him running on a dry track either. As far as Tom Sawyer goes, one thing I will point out, he did run second to Turn North, who's very good right now. And in April, the last time Tom Sawyer ran, and Turn North came back to run fairly distant second behind a very sharp one in too much action in the Wayne Hanks Memorial. So,
yeah, Tom Sawyer beat Turn North 3 starts back, too. So that sets up to be pretty solid for this horse.
So there's a little bit of competition there for Golden Grit. He will be a short price, though, and deservedly so. By the way, we mentioned it's hot. 95 degrees here as we get set. 60 minutes away from race 1. On to race 2. Second race, 1 mile. Optional claiming $20,000 claiming tag here for fillies. $15,000 starter allowance condition on this one. Scratch number 3, Platinum Diva.
Yeah, so I'll take the horse on the inside, Geometric. You know, this horse seems like I'm picking this horse every time that she runs out here, right? I mean, she's had 6 starts out here at Lone Star Park. Has hit the board in 5 of those 6 starts, including a couple wins. You got to like that. I mean, this horse was a winner last time out. You know, has been in the money in like 4 out of the last 5 turf races that Geometric's been in. Way back in the day, this horse was up in the Northeast running at the Naira tracks and having some decent finishes up there as well. But, you know, that was a while ago. That was, 3 years ago or so. But Geometric, I think this is my winner of the second race here. I got number 6. She Sky's the Limit as my second choice here. You know, this horse has a ton of experience, 45 lifetime races. 31 of those have been over on the turf course. Has 6 wins out of those 31 starts, you know, 10 seconds and 7 thirds as well. Horse has had a pretty good record out here at Lone Star Park, finishing into money in half the starts out here. Has 6 wins at this 1 mile distance as well. I mean, I could go on and on about this horse, but I think She Sky's the Limit is definitely going to be up there toward the front today when it's all said and done. And then I have the 3 San Mateo Cat as my third choice. You know, a pretty solid horse here, too. A second last time out. If you look 3 starts back, another second, missing just by 3/4 of a length. A win before that. All 4 of those races coming right here at Lone Star Park. 3 of those 4 were on the grass, where the horse does have 2 wins. I think you got to take a long, hard look at San Mateo Cat as well. I got it 163 here in the second.
Last time they ran against each other, which was their last race, I picked San Mateo Cat over Geometric, and I got a pretty good run for my money. Geometric ended up getting a little more momentum, had the first run at the lead, got it. They both came from miles off the pace. Geometric just had a little more momentum and went on to win by a length and a quarter. I pointed out, though, we showed the video, San Mateo Cat, the time before on May 24th, it didn't make it into the comment, but had one of the worst starts that you could possibly have without losing the rider. The mare broke up in the air, landed on one leg. Isaiah Wiseman was lucky to stay aboard. Then she got real rank and ran up behind horses going into the first turn, and came back and got another bad start last time out. So she's going to break bad almost every time, it looks like. As far as Geometric, I don't know why she dropped so far back last time. I mean, she was in another county, rallied very strongly to win. She's always been a closer and sometimes does drop back, but I hope she doesn't drop quite that far back. Otherwise, She Sky's the Limit, you know, could make off with it wire to wire. Race number 3. Texas bred fillies and mares, 3 and up. These are maiden special weights. 5.5 furlongs is the length. I'm going against the favorite in this one. I see you're taking the favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to go
against her. I'll explain why in a little bit.
I'll go with this favorite coming from the outside. You know, this horse has only had 1 start underneath her belt. That was a solid third right here at Lone Star Park back on the 4th of May. Always like horses that are making their second career start or second start off a layoff. This one right here fits that. Austin Gustafson, he always sends out some very solid horses. I think this one could be the winner here. I got number 3, Gab's Humor, as my second choice. You know, this horse has had some respectable finishes as of late. You know, 3 out of the last 4, this horse has been up to hit the board, including a second last time out, going 6.5 furlongs. They're going to go a little bit shorter than that today. But, you know, 0 for 10, I don't like that to pick a winner. But, you know, does have half of this horse's starts have been on the board finishes. So, you know, I can put the horse up for some of the minor awards. And then I got number 2, Stacy's Princess, as my third choice here. You know, last time out, this horse missed by a head, missed by a length before that, missed by a neck before that. So right up there close in all those last 3 races. But the thing that all those 3 of those races have in common, they're all on the turf.
Yes.
Stacy's Princess going back to the dirt today, which has not been the best for this horse. But we'll see what happens. I got it 7-3-2 here in the third.
Yeah, unless races just didn't fill for Texas-bred maiden special weight fillies on the turf, and I don't know how many of those they write. They've obviously written some because she's been in them, but maybe they didn't want to face open company turf sprinting again. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm not really sure why they put her back on the dirt when it's clear she's a better turfer. Maybe there just aren't a lot of races for T-bred maiden fillies on the grass, but I'm going to try a first-time starter here. Ray Ashford's barn has been very good with firsters. I'm going to take the 6, Painter's Palette. The dam, What Lola Wants, used to race about 10 years ago for J.R. Caldwell. The dam won 15 races, did win first asking, earned $309,000. Painter's Palette is a half to a couple of horses that have done some winning. Lovely Lolita was 4 for 21, and She's Candified, who's still active running, is 4 for 14 and won here on May 31st. I'm going to give Painter's Palette a try from a barn that likes to crank them up and win early, only because Courtin' by Moonlight, I think, could very well improve off her first start. She has every reason to. She was 8-1 against a similar field and ran kind of an even third, and now she's going to be at least 9-5, if not shorter. To me, those odds just don't quite, talent-wise, she could easily win and probably should, but from an odds standpoint, you're going to get, 8 or 9-5 on a filly that really should probably be more like the 8-1 she was last time. She did finish right behind a filly that won her next start, Cowgirl Dream, but I'm going to try to beat her here. Also, as good a trainer as Austin Gustafson is, and he's very good, his numbers with second-time starters are not eye-catching, so we'll see.
Now, you mentioned the dam of Painter's Palette, What Lola Wants.
Yes.
Interesting fact, I've got a win photo upstairs that I'm in for What Lola Wants, and I'm in there with Julie Crone and Jack Van Berg.
Wow.
So, star-studded What Lola Wants last time.
So what were they doing
out
there?
Here? I believe they were here. I think
something.
Jack Van Berg, I want to say, was here for a book signing that day. Chris Katulak's book from Jack from Grit to Glory.
Yeah.
And then I think Julie Crone was out here for another event that same day. But it was pretty
nice.
nice.
Those are luminaries.
Yeah, it's pretty good to get in a win photo with
that
those
folks. Awesome. On to the fourth. Start of the pick 5. Carryover $1,366. 6.5 furlongs. These are Texas-bred optional claimers. You could be in for $18,000 claiming tag, or you can be in as a non-winner of a race other than a maiden claiming starter or trial. There's only one of these that's not in for the tag, and that is Chasing Coyotes, a little bit of an outsider, although he did win his last race.
And I do have Chasing Coyotes picked second here, but we both got the same winner. It looks like Vietnam Victory, the 3. This horse has been running in some solid races through the past years. This horse was the winner of the Groovy Stakes down at Sam Houston at 23. Took some time off after that. After that race, 2 starts back, which was out here in July, before getting back to the racetrack this May. So it took a long time off from the track. But even in the comeback race, this horse, finished 4th in that one. It was the next out winner that won it, so
very
tough spot
race.
to come back.
Yeah.
But being now that this horse is making its second start after that layoff, I mentioned I liked that before. I'll go ahead and take Vietnam Victory on top. Chasing Coyotes, was a winner last time out. You mentioned that. Pretty decent win by 2 3/4. Came close the race before that, just missing by a neck. Horse had another second-place finish at Sam Houston back in January, so 3 out of the 4 races this horse has been in 2025 has been able to get up there and hit the board, even in the exacta. So Chasing Coyotes, this one might be able to run tonight. We'll see. Probably get some pretty good odds on this horse. And then I got number 7, Fort Hood, as my third choice. You got to look a long way back to find one of those 5 wins for Fort Hood, but it came last year right here, just about a year ago.
Yeah.
So, 3 days shy of a year. Since that last win, but it came right here at Lone Star Park. The horse led it from gate to wire. It came at this 6.5 furlong distance, so maybe lightning will strike twice for Fort Hood and could get up there for the win today. But I think this is a very salty race. I got Algebra picked 4th after that win last time for Algebra, who was 0 for 14 before that, but came back and stunned us last time. A lot of different ways to go. It's going to be a fun race. I like this one.
Yeah, I tried to work Algebra in there. He loves this racetrack. He's won a dozen races and $412,000. And he was kind of looking like he might be a little bit over the hill, but then he comes back and wins a Texas-bred race last time out for $5,000. I couldn't work him in, though. I think this race is a little too competitive. Vietnam Victory's comeback spot was brutally hard.
Yeah.
Open company sprint against Too Much Action, who's earned pushing $500,000 and is one of the best Texas bred sprinters of recent vintages. And Gun Flash and American Experiment, that was a brutally tough. And this guy kept up with, he was chasing Too Much Action pretty hard up till the top of the stretch, and that's not easy to do. He wound up fading to fourth, out of 6. But that was a good comeback race. And that was first off the layoff. I got Champagne Stupor for second. He was very unhurried last time and made a really nice rally against Lesser. We'll see if maybe J.R. Caldwell can spin another good race out of him. He does pick up the leading rider in Ramon Vasquez, although his rider last time, Diego's having one of the best meets he's had since he was our leading rider here a few years ago. My issue with Fort Hood is mainly, he got very good here last spring, but now he just seems to have forgotten how to pass horses. Never passes anybody anymore. He just kind of runs around there, and, so we'll see. Plus, I wish he had a work. I mean, he does have I take that back. He has some nice works since his last race in April. On to the 5th. A lot of contention in this race and a fair amount of early speed as well. Race 5, a mile on the turf. First level allowance event, scratch the 11, 12, 13, and 14. All the also eligibles and the main track only are out.
Yeah, between the two of us, I think we're taking almost every horse in the field here.
We
don't really agree on anything in these picks.
We do. Now, only the 2 horse appears in both of our selections.
But I'll take the 4. I think Last Attack can have a good run tonight. Last time out, this horse finished second, missing by a length and 3/4. That was an allowance company going 7.5 on the turf, so went around 2 turns that day right here on our turf. Pretty much led it from the get-go. As you see, that's kind of this horse's M.O., but, 2 of the last 3 were on the turf, had a very tough race down at the fairgrounds, was up there toward the front, but ended up getting beat bad in that one. But the other races, Last Attack can keep up, and I think this horse could run well out here. I mean, if you look at his record out here at Lone Star, does have a win, a second and a third. So not bad at all for Last Attack. I'll take this horse on top here. Number 7, Defending Albert. That's going to be my second choice. Coming in here straight off a win. So won that first race last time back on May the 18th. Won that race by 3 3/4. Looked pretty solid doing it, but it's coming straight into this allowance race, facing winners for the first time. It's going to be a tough spot for this horse, but David Cabrera, Brett Calhoun, those guys could definitely send some horses into the winner's circle for their picture. I'll take 7, Defending Albert second, and then I got the 9, Miami Moonlight as my third choice. 12-1 morning line on this one. Has a lot of experience running on the turf, having 3 wins in a couple seconds from 14 tries on the grass. A couple wins out here at Lone Star as well. Last time out, let's draw a line through that one. The horse was beaten by 6 lengths in that one, but the 2 races before that crossed the finish line first. In both of those races, the 1-3 back ended up getting placed later on back in the pairing there, but did beat a next out winner in that one. So Miami Moonlight at some decent odds. This could be a nice priced horse to play here in the 5th.
I think there's a lot of competition here, so much so that you don't have the morning line favorite in your top 4, and I have him 4th, and I'm not even that enthusiastic about that. That said, News at 9, the morning line favorite, takes the blinkers off, was a good second last time out. It was at Houston in early April, hasn't been out since. Has a pretty steady work tab since for Scott Young. The thing I don't like about News at 9, he just always seems to back up late. I mean, He never seems to finish strongly at any distance. I mean, he gives up ground in 5 furlong sprints and in a mile and a 16th. So I'm looking another way. I'm going to go with Good Swimmer. It's a really versatile style. I completely tossed that last race. It was an off-the-turfer. Mindy Willis kept him in there. He was 11-1. The winner of that race, Savaco, ran red hot. Has had a couple of good races. And this guy wants the turf. He loves the turf. That's his thing. And he's just got a really good, handy style. Plus, every time Stuart Elliott rides him in his last 12 races, he's won on him, for whatever that's worth. Mooncat can be dangerous. He's a good closer. You know he'll be coming late. Hope for some pace for him. And I think Touch of Glam, this Argentine bred, the 5 is worth a look. Second time on turf. His career debut 8 races ago was on the turf at Fairgrounds. He was 22-1 and kind of ran like it. Since then, he's mixed in some decent efforts. He used to be trained by Kenny McPeak. Now he's with Todd Fincher. There's a lot you could like in that race. On to race 6. All older fillies and mares in this one, 3/4 of a mile the distance. They are in for a $7,500 tag, and they are non-winners of 3. Scratch number 6, Sparkly. She was a solid second choice on the morning line, so that means Sweet Charlize is going to be a really short price.
Yeah, I got the 8 Sweet Charlize. You know, I think this horse could run very well tonight. I mean, you can see after this horse made the drop in class a couple starts ago, I mean, picked up a win by 4.5. Went for this $7,500 tag last time out, ran a good second in that one. I think this is the horse to beat here. The 9, Steal the Spotlight. That's my second choice, coming in here fresh off a win. I always like horses that have in here fresh off a win. And then I've got the 4, Bossadu, as my third choice. You know, this horse has been running at the $7,500 level for a while. You know, has a couple on the board finishes, a second, 2 starts back, misses just by half a length. You know, then a third, 4 starts back, one up at Sam Houston in February. I think it's a solid horse to get up and hit the board.
I think there's a little excuse for her last time, the 4, Basadusu. She was shuffled a little bit at the start, and it indicates she broke last. She also kind of got shuffled back to there, I think. Wound up way out of it, and, you know, just kind of wound up running sort of an even race. I've got her third as well. Sweet Charlize, I mean, her last race on the Beyer scale earned a 61. I mean, that obliterates the par, which is 56 for this race. That's usually a good sign. She was favored last time, was just a beat slow out of there, and then was inside, saving ground, and then had to angle in again, and just wound up second best in the race behind Perceptive. Race before that was a win at Evangeline in the slop. She clearly likes a wet track, but she can handle a dry track too. And just, you know, her general form since leaving Woodbine and coming to the Fairgrounds in the winter has been pretty good, and it's clearly the best of this group on paper. On to race 7. There's nobody in here that really would qualify as a 7 furlong specialist. 7 furlongs, a bit of a specialty distance. This is for 3-year-olds and up, $7,500 tag, but these are non-winners of 2. Scratch the 12, Storm Strategy, and the 13, Structured.
All right, let me get number 7, Quarryman, as my top selection here in race number 7. You know, if you look back at this horse's well back into PP, you see this horse was running in Kentucky a lot. Had to start at Keeneland, Churchill, Ellis Park as well. You know, always up there for a higher claiming price than this $7,500 tonight until that last race. Quarryman went out here at Lone Star Park for $7,500 and ran pretty decent.
Yeah,
you know, only lost by a head in that race, so not bad at all. Put in a good effort in that race. I've been waiting to see this horse come back, so I'm excited to see Quarryman run tonight. I think this horse could run big here in the 7th. Number 9, Battle Cruiser, is going to be my second choice here. Y'all see it's your top choice. I like it. This horse making that move from Southern California to here. Ran fairly well last time out for the $20,000 tag right here on our course, finishing third in that one. Drops down again to $7,500. Robertino Diodoro, the horses he sends out, you always got to watch him. If you look, you know, he's winning at a pretty decent clip this year. It was probably 28% on the fly, something like that. I'm looking at. So you always got to watch out for his horses, and you got the leading rider in the Colony aboard this one tonight. And then I got number 11, Keep the Kingdom, as my third choice. This horse was a winner 2 starts back. That was the maiden-breaking win for this one. Last time out, let's kick that one to the curb. It wasn't a very good run at all. But since that last race, this horse did have a very nice workout, 9 of 105 on the morning back on June the 8th. Keep the Kingdom in your picks tonight because this horse could run big at a decent price.
And he tries the dirt for the first time does keep the kingdom, and he's indicated, at least from that June 8th half-mile breeze, that he can handle the dirt in the morning for sure. Now, when it starts getting kicked in their face, then we'll really see how they like it. But, I mean, he had the 9th best half-mile breeze out of 105 on June 8th. I'm on Battle Cruiser here. I'm going to try to beat Quarryman. Both you and Rick have him. Battle Cruiser does have one local out. It was a mile. It was a $20,000 non-2 race. This is going all the way down to $7,500. I like that angle of the first time a horse makes that big drop. That's when you really notice if they've been knocking heads at a higher level and need a drop, or if this is just where they belong and they've been overmatched before. His third was decent in that race. Now he only has to go around one turn. I'm going to take a shot. Quarryman led for much of the stretch, as I saw it in that race against Drinks at the club, and ran a really nice Beyer. I mean, Beyer-wise, he blew away Battle Cruiser, race to race. But, the only thing about Quarryman, actually about a lot of these, is, they've got a maiden win somewhere, and many of these then have gone on extended losing streaks. But they're all kind of in that situation. Let's wrap it up. In the 8th, maiden $20,000 claimers, a mile on the turf, scratch, number 2, Bill. There is a high five carryover of $1,123.
So I've got the 4. You've got the 4. Is it Can Take or Kentucky?
Can Take.
I think there's a couple ways that you could say that, but Can Take. I think this horse is in a good spot here. Going 1 mile on the turf, you see this horse has done that a lot. 1 mile on the turf. Has yet to pick up that win, but does have a couple seconds and some thirds from 11 tries on the turf. I think looking over this field, Can Take is going to be my top choice. I wish I could make more of a case for this horse, but honestly, I can't. But
he kind of stands out.
Yeah, Citizen is going to be my second choice at number 6 here. This horse ran at the $20,000 level last time out, going a mile and a 16th on the turf. Finished third in that race, so not too bad. Has only been on the grass twice, and that was the best start of the grass races for Citizen. I think this horse, hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully likes the grass, and hopefully will get out there and have a big race tonight. And then number 10, King of the Disco, third choice. This horse has been on the grass 4 different times, does have a second from those 4 starts on the turf. That came 2 starts back right here on our course. It was at this 1 mile distance as well, so you got to put those things together and like them. Give me the 10 to hit the board here in the last race of the night.
Yeah, I've got him third as well. He didn't run much last time. He just kind of went very evenly, no rally last time, and he was 5-2. It just might not have been his day. There's always a chance to improve off that. The one thing about Can Take that worries me a little bit, he's adding blinkers, which I like. He's worn them primarily in his career. He hasn't worn them the last 2 times, and he's gotten out horribly both times. 2 times ago, it doesn't mention it in the comment, but he was out what I would consider quite slowly. He let them all go, and then he came out of there. Last time he was out even worse. And as you can see, he dropped 2 races in a row. He's been 14 lengths off the lead early on. And he salvaged 4th 2 races ago and only made it to 7th 4 lengths back last time. That's the only thing that worries me, because he's going to be less than 2-1. In fact, with Bill scratched, that's going to filter the odds down. That's going to take a lot of points out of that. He could end up being close to even money. And the only thing I worry about is a horse that has a history of not breaking well, falling 12 to 14 lengths back, then you're really tempting the racing gods. But he's blinkers on. Hopefully he'll break better. I couldn't go against him. Citizen, it's unfortunate. Guy's got an incredible pedigree. He was a $370,000 2-year-old purchase back in 2022. He's only made $21,000. He made kind of a career out of really high purse maiden special weight races at Oaklawn and Keeneland, and then finally made it to this region. And he's going to find a field he's going to beat one of these days. And if Can Take gets too far back, maybe it could be him. All right, I think that's it. Are you in the paddock tonight?
I am not. Dave is
Okay,
here.
Dave is back. Okay.
I'm going to stay in the air conditioning tonight.
All
I
right.
think.
That's a good idea. All right. We're fast and firm. Thanks a lot for joining us on this Friday. Enjoy this longest amount of daylight of the year. I heard that starting tomorrow, in the beginning, it's just seconds a day that the days get shorter.
It stretches out, yeah.
When you get closer to September, then it's like a minute or two a day, and then you start to really see the amount of daylight drop off. So it won't seem that much different tomorrow, but we will be on the downhill side to the fall meet light-wise.
Right? I mean, I think
there
that
you go.
what time does it take place? Like 9:20 tonight or something? I think
it is.
sunset 9:21.
It's probably about the time of our last race.
Yeah, right.
So there you go. Enjoy that. And that's about it. First post time in 34 minutes. Thanks a lot for looking in, and good luck this evening.